partially on it, put the lid on it, send it out.
You said your catering arm is a whole different business. Are you running out of a commissary?
No.
So everything's out of the truck?
Everything's out of the truck.
Okay.
So in our county, as long as the truck has a 3-compartment sink, a grease trap, wastewater, and all that good stuff, everything can run out of it.
Yeah, we're the same here. Okay. Interesting.
So how long have you been doing this?
The catering we've been doing since 2016. The food truck we opened in August. August 29th was our first day.
Last year?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We haven't hit August this year yet, bud.
I know what he meant.
Justin, we get better ratings when we fight, so somehow we're tops in India when we fight. I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird.
So
did you buy your trailer new, or did you?
Yeah, I had it built.
Who would you go through?
FUD.
Sorry.
Food. FUD trailers, after I put the order in, they were, because I was looking for the quickest, which isn't necessarily the smartest, but I wanted to get on going, So there was a company in Alabama. They were like, yeah, we got it 8 weeks. FUD told me 6. There's a dealership in Nashville. Afterwards, I kind of saw reviews, and I was like, oh, no. A lot of people are saying these are crap. But apparently they had so many bad reviews that they were crap that they actually got better. So mine's actually the ones that they've built last year and forward seem to be holding up a lot better than older ones. I had a guy come up and he said, is that a FUD trailer? And I said, yeah. He goes, I had walls falling off in 6 months. I had rivets popping off and the walls coming off and axles breaking. And I was like, and I saw the quality of his, and I was like, well, they must have got their stuff, straightened out, because mine's a lot better than yours, for sure.
I mean, I've definitely had some loose screws in the ceiling paneling, but
I've already had 3 screws fall out of my ceiling already, and mine's brand new.
Yeah, I mean, these trailers have a lot of weight, and there's a lot of movement, so things are going to wiggle loose, or wiggle loose.
That over walls falling off.
Yeah, this guy had a whole side wall of his. Yeah, I mean, all the rivets were gone. So,
well, they didn't tell him that was the special transformer model.
Yeah, you fold that down so you have like an open cooking area.
Yeah, everybody can see what you're doing.
Bernie is pissed at us out of New York. He says, "All you non-commissary states must be nice. I don't recommend New York to anyone for anything."
We don't either, Bernie. We don't either, bud.
Yeah, Nashville requires it, so it's just it's not necessary. If they're gonna come on the truck and give us health scores and stuff and look around, I mean, I get why some places do it, but it's not necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to get to a quick question because we still have our buddy Mark on TikTok watching still. A question from Isaac that came through Facebook. What makes a great barbecue sauce in your opinions? Working on a house-made barbecue sauce for one of our dishes. And Skippy, do you remember, is Isaac doing mostly pasta too?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
But I think he's doing mac and cheese though. Like I remember him saying something about a pulled pork mac and cheese or something like that.
He said barbecue sauce?
Yeah, so he's trying to make a house-made barbecue sauce.
Where are you at?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I mean, very regional, especially here in the South. It's like religion down here.
Yeah,
that's why
you Southern people, I tell you, are a special breed.
Yeah, thanks. I started out wanting to do barbecue. I actually bought a barbecue trailer. I had a smoker, a reverse flow smoker built. It was like 8 feet long. I was going to haul it around, and then when I went to go get all the permits and stuff, which I did it backwards. I should have made sure first. But they had just instituted, food trucks were just starting to become a thing down here, real popular. And they had just put an ordinance in where, like, you need a commissary or you need a food truck that's got, X, Y, and Z. You can't use this barbecue trailer. So, but yeah, my first goal was to do barbecue. But I mean, you can just close your eyes and point. You're pointing at a barbecue restaurant down here. So same thing with barbecue food trucks. There's a bunch.
Basically, you just switched out of barbecue because you wanted to make money. That was pretty much.
Well, our first client, she was like, I really don't like barbecue. Do you do anything else? I said, yeah, I make really good spaghetti and Alfredo and stuff. And so that's kind of like our first client wanted pasta. And it had on the backside of the smoker, it had burners. And so I just I cooked everything on that one burner, and I put the Starno flames. So I opened the barrel of the smoker, and it had 2 racks. So I put the flames on the bottom, and then put all the pasta in the barrel in aluminum pans wrapped up. So that was my warmer, and it's got a thermometer on the outside. It was like 180, 190, keeping all this stuff hot. Perfect. Yeah. And so that was our first wedding. That was our catering company's first event.
Fucking smart.
And then it had a grill. It had a charcoal grill on the back. So we did grilled chicken, Italian grilled chicken. We did like a meat sauce spaghetti. Then we did like fettuccine Alfredo. And then from there, I was like, all right, I guess I'm not doing barbecue. And then I wrote a pasta menu, and it's been that way ever since.
Yeah, I still use our smoker as a warming cabinet if we have those types of events where we need extra space. So
I sold it. I sold it right before I put the order in for the trailer.
Yeah. So back to the barbecue sauce thing. In my opinion, anything not offensive. Yeah, without knowing your region, I just tried to find out if he had a location listed on his profile. Non-offensive. Don't go too far outside of anything.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Nothing hot.
More people know.
Else fails, sweet is better than
sweet. Yeah.
Most. Yeah.
Start with ketchup and brown sugar.
That's why Sweet Baby Ray's is the #1 barbecue sauce out there. It's sweet. It's thick. Do something just like Josh said. Do something not offensive.
Pick up a bottle of 999 Judgment Day and start there.
Go to Barnes and Noble and pick out all the 30 barbecue books and just pick out what you think tastes the best. That's what I do for recipes.
Yeah.
I love cookbooks. Absolutely.
Yeah. The barbecue sauce I made was ketchup, apple cider vinegar, brown sugar, a shit ton of pepper, salt, and that was pretty much it.
Thinner sauce?
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty thin.
I would love to have a mustard sauce on the truck
sandwich,
but we've tried it before. We had one, and yeah, it's hard up here.
Cattleman's Gold.
Yeah.
But I tell you,
it's actually really, really good.
I tell you another thing
I just said the same thing. Cattleman's Gold.
Absolutely.
I tell you another reason I didn't do barbecue. I didn't want to wake up early.
Yeah.
These are well-rested eyes.
These are not well-dressed or well-rested eyes.
I can cook everything an hour before service. So
how do you do your so you got cheese bread on your menu? Do you have an oven in there?
Nope, everything's on the flat top.
Really?
Yeah. The pizzas too.
Do you start with pre-cooked dough then?
Yeah. So we have to start with pre-cooked flatbread. I've got a roller of garlic butter, so I roll it, get both sides nice and toasted, and basically build the pizza upside down. So I'll put the pepperoni on the grill first. Yeah, put the pepperoni on the grill, put the mozzarella on top of the pepperoni, put the meat sauce on the dough, flip it, pat it on the back, let it cook about 30 seconds is all it takes, and then with the spatula flip it over. Yeah,
I've made those in saucepans or frying pans. Yeah, those are fun. Okay, cool.
Skippy, did you switch to
24 inch?
Okay. Did I buy?
Did you switch to the pre-made noodles?
No.
For your mac and cheese, you're still using the dry. Okay.
Yeah, with the stock pot range outside, noodles are boiled from lighting of the flame to pouring out of water in 15 minutes. So it's fucking great.
Man, how many BTUs is that burner putting out?
A lot, because those handles are hotter than shit.
Yeah.
So you're going from a pot of water to done noodles in 15 minutes.
Yep. It's fucking amazing. And that's 10 pounds of noodles. So 10 pounds of noodles probably in 20, but like 15 for like one bag, one 5-pound bag.
My induction burner will take 45 minutes for a 22 quart pot of water.
Yeah, so she had messaged me on Friday that said she was out. I had mac and cheese ready to go within 30 minutes, like full. I don't put it back in the smoker anymore. I actually just set it in the warmer so it can tack up a little bit. But other than that, it was perfect.
I can't even make my cheese sauce in half an hour. Good God, man. Good for you. But when we're out, so.
You could make more, couldn't you? No, because that induction burner will take up your whole generator.
Yeah. So we can keep cooking. So that's our positive. Like, as long as we have the back stock, we can just keep cooking. Do another meat sauce, do another Alfredo sauce. Those big events. I mean, we're doing probably 6 to 8 batches of Alfredo sauce, and 40, 50 pounds of dry pasta.
Yeah, that's a lot. Do you go through more penne or spaghetti?
Spaghetti.
Yeah. Do you do a mac and cheese too, or just those two sauces?
Just those two sauces.
See, I grew up on I didn't like pasta sauce. I didn't really like meat, so I grew up on buttered noodles and Parmesan cheese, a little salt and pepper, and that was about it. That was my.
Yeah, so we have all that. So that's why we have the pasta no sauce, and they'll be like, "Can you put garlic, butter, and Parmesan?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, it's fine." But I mean, that's why it's on the menu, because we get asked for it. So.
Oh yeah, I made the mistake of putting red pepper flake on it one time when I was a kid. After that, I liked it. I like it now, but when I was a kid, not so much. So you're using Easy Eats. Who do you use as your credit card processor?
It's called CardPoint.
CardPoint? Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to get signed up with them, and then they coexist with Easy Eats?
Easy Eats kind of signs you up for them. When I signed up, it was the only credit card processor you could choose. Now they have 2 or 3 different options.
Okay.
And I haven't looked into them because we're still in contract with them. So.
So you had to sign a contract?
I don't remember. I don't think so, but I think it renews after a year. So I think in August when I re-up, I can look elsewhere. Because now, like I said, now they have different options. But when I signed up, you had to use CardPoint. That was it. This is our credit card processor.
What made you go with Easy Eats versus anything else?
The KDS feature.
Okay.
Just coming from my background in fast food restaurants, where KDS is real important. In doing market research before I opened the food truck, the biggest complaint I had in this town was wait times on food trucks.
Yeah,
especially from factories and things where people are on break. There are food trucks here that with really, really good food, but they have 20, 25-minute wait times. And so, we're at between 4 and 6 minute times on our truck. So doing the KDS is just a big part of it. When you have 2 people, one of them's ringing up the food and turning around, putting the bread on the grill while their credit card is processing, and I'm looking at the KDS on the other end of the truck building the plate. Mm-hmm. And then plus the online menu feature, I can build an event, send out a link. They can pre-order and order online. I like that stuff a lot too.
Yeah, I've seen in the food truck training groups, a lot of guys were talking about the Easy Eats platform. What's CardPoint's processing fees?
Oh man, caught me not knowing. I don't know.
Oh geez,
it's not bad because because I compared it in August.
Okay.
To what was out there, and I was like, that they're around normal. They're not overly expensive. They're not real low either. They're just kind of like market value.
Yeah.
You said you came from the fast food world. Which soul sucking chain did you work for?
So Captain D's. So it's the South Long John Silver's. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We actually have a couple of them up here in Michigan.
They're growing like crazy. They're really handing out franchises.
Yeah.
If you got $1 million in assets, you can open a Captain D's. So
interesting.
Wow.
But yeah, when I left, I was an area director for them. So
good.
You work for corporate?
I worked for a franchisee. So
Did you? Okay.
Yep. So it was not as bad as working for corporate, but we still had our challenges as a franchisee.
So when you were doing your catering when you started in catering, what was the platform you used for credit cards and stuff like that?
We didn't accept credit cards.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Cash or check?
Cash or check, yeah.
Would you require a check ahead of time so you can make sure it cleared?
Well,
or are you not too worried about it?
So we learned our lesson from our first wedding. We did the wedding and she owed us money. And at a couple of days later, I was like, "Hey, you want to square up with us?" And she's like, that big tent I had? I'll sell it to you, or I'll give it to you instead of paying you. I was like, "No, I want money." She's like, "I'll bake you some pies." I was like, "No, I want money."
Some pies.
So then I wrote a menu, and then the next day I wrote a contract that requires full payment 2 weeks before, 20% down payment and full up 2 weeks before. So,
wow. Do you accept credit cards for?
Oh yeah. We do. Easy Eats has invoices, so I just send them an invoice through Easy Eats.
Yeah. Mark wants to know what kind of pie.
It doesn't. It better be full of $20 bills. I don't care. I wanted money.
Money pie.
Mark knows what kind of pie.
Yeah. Ooh.
Definitely not.
No. Flashback to Revenge of the Nerds movie.
What's your favorite thing you like to make? So somebody comes up and orders. So what they ask, what's the best? What do you tell them?
The Alfredo sauce is our best, but as far as specific menu item, we have the monster fries. They're super popular. So garlic parm, French fries. We take our meatballs, put them on the flat top, squirt a bunch of garlic butter, chop them up, grill them up, and put it on top of their Alfredo sauce, mozzarella cheese.
God, that sounds good.
I realize I haven't had breakfast yet because my stomach just growled.
So we do that, and then we also have a grilled chicken Alfredo loaded. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we need to take a road trip to your food truck.
Yeah.
And then we do a grilled chicken Alfredo loaded fry. It's the same things, but instead of the meatballs, it's grilled chicken.
Who wants chicken? Meatballs. So you did say in the last one that you do use the frozen meatballs?
Yes.
So is it just labor why you don't make your own? Or
it's labor, consistency, speed. I make a damn good meatball, but I can't make 200 meatballs the same size and shape. And then it's trusting, it's another thing for our employees have to learn, to make so it's all of the above. It's cost, speed, labor, consistency. We've served the same meatballs since day one, and people like them.
Absolutely.
And very rarely do they eat just a meatball. We sell loaded meatballs. Our sauce is on top of them, and we do make we put a lot of work into our sauce. I feel like that's the main flavor of our truck is in our sauces.
Does your Alfredo sauce or your meat sauce or your pasta sauce go faster?
Alfredo.
Yeah.
Chicken Alfredo is our biggest seller.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, I'm really hungry now.
So, Justin, as you continue to grow, I'm kind of in that space now where maybe a small brick and mortar that has the ability to do like just a walk out or walk up type of ordering, kind of like a Little Caesars size of space,
Right.
where you have the full kitchen. There's a space for people to walk up and order, just so you have that opportunity to get to the point where you can make your own meatballs, or you can do some other things that the trucks just don't afford, the space, the time, the holding space for you to be able to do. Because I know we have items that we would love to do, but just on the truck, it's just not feasible.
Yeah. I starting it, and I guess maybe I was just burned from Captain D's, but I was like, I'm never doing a brick and mortar, ever. I'm not doing the headache. The food truck is way easier. I need 2 or 3 employees, not 20.
Yeah.
Right. And but I did start it in the mind of maybe a franchise food truck option. And so with having limited menu items and having stuff like frozen, I just felt like when it was time to do that kind of stuff, there's already procedures written in place for the recipes and all that stuff. So, Josh, I could you could run my truck in 3 days. It's just like walking into a McDonald's or Captain D's or Taco Bell. There are procedures for training, and that's just my background. And so I kind of had it in mind, yes, scratch is good, scratch made and all that stuff. And like I said, our sauces are scratch made. There's a lot of work that has gone into them to make them, where they are today, especially the meat sauce. The Alfredo sauce it's the OG sauce from catering. It's what everybody said was the best through our catering. The meat sauce, it's on its 3rd recipe change. And it's finally getting the reviews that the Alfredo sauce is getting. So that's where our focus has been, is on the sauce, and everything else is just, procedures and easy. Like I said, that way when it comes time to A, get off the truck, or B, start franchising the truck, anybody can do it.
Right.
With minimal restaurant experience.
Good. So that brings up a couple topics. We couldn't go one episode without Taco and Pebbles. One episode. Jesus. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Your cleaning guy must be there. Hey, Ryan.
Matt.
I came to my catering office just to avoid dogs and children this morning.
It's all part of the charm.
I'm just a floating head. All right, so we had at the food truck rally, we now have a Cousin's Maine lobster truck.
Yes.
And they had a line 40 deep for 5 hours straight.
Yes, there's one here.
The cheapest thing on their menu is like $23.
Right.
It's amazing on what they did. But so franchising, they've come a long way from being on Shark Tank, but I can only imagine how much a franchise of one of those costs. Second thing was, so Josh, you were talking about brick and mortar and a takeout spot. So we had, and I don't know if I mentioned this, but so we have a burger guy who ran a food truck for a while. He bought an old taco stand. It had a very limited seating indoors, but still had seating. He made the decision. He loves DoorDash. Absolutely is in love with DoorDash. So he decided to take out the seating and make it to go only. And the amount of backlash that he got just for taking out seating and making it to go only was remarkable. Like, just because of like what happens with us bikers or with people in the rain, or people who don't want to eat your messy burger inside their car. I think what we do, barbecue, pasta, I think the same thing, is you can eat it at home. It'll last until you get home. You get a burger and it's like it's not, it can fall apart really depending on how you're cooking it, but it can really fall apart really fast. But you were just talking about a to-go spot, because I was thinking about the same thing, whether that's like the next logical step for most barbecue people is a to-go spot, or actually one that has indoor seating. But I still want to visit Spaghetti Monster food truck though. It's like stuck on my screen right now that I can't like.
Well, How do you get there on your way to Orlando in November?
You take a sharp right.
See, you got to figure it out.
You have to go through Louisville.
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 Well, see,
I like
he's
that
from the
bridge,
west. He's from the west side of the state. I'm from the middle of the state, so we can meet on 69 and go south.
Yeah, we'll meet in Louisville. We'll carpool from there.
Louisville.
Take 65.
All the way.
Yeah.
Just keep going until you hit water.
Stop at Peg Leg Porker in Nashville.
See, I made the mistake. So I went to Nashville south of Nashville to pick up my trailer, and I wanted to go to a barbecue joint. And unfortunately, I didn't realize that Nashville had absolutely zero parking, and my big ass truck wasn't fitting in any parking garage.
Nope.
So I found a Martin's barbecue joint outside of Nashville.
I love Martin's.
Martin's I like the atmosphere. It was pretty good. The food was okay, but I like the atmosphere.
If you go to the original Martin's, which is like probably 35 miles south of Nashville, it's fantastic.
Is that the one? So I went to one that was south of Nashville. That was more. It was almost like in not a strip mall, but there were a bunch of other restaurants by it. But it was more. It looked like it was more. Yeah, it was more like a franchise place than an actual like old school barbecue joint. But yes, it was fair. It was pretty fair, pretty good. I bought a T-shirt.
Yeah, they catered our wedding, so.
Yeah,
So, barbecue joints, catering weddings. A good barbecue competition friend of ours is getting married in Wisconsin, and he knows Chef Deuce on TikTok. So, Sweet Baby Ray's Catering. And for table service, linens, all that sort of stuff, brisket and chicken, I think, and 2 sides. They quoted them $12.5.
for how many people?
120.
Ooh, Jesus.
So for table service, for dishes, all that sort of stuff.
Damn.
I'm like, shit. I'll do it for 9. I'll give you Dixie paper plates.
Mark says Peg Leg to this day is the best restaurant pulled pork he's ever had.
I do want to go there.
So when I was originally working through catering stuff, like what we offer and all that, like had in there an option for plates and silverware, and quickly took that shit out in a hurry, like real plates and silver. Like I don't even want to fathom storing all this shit for in between, and then washing all this stuff. Like we have a hard enough time getting chafing dishes and stuff put away in totes completely dry to where they don't get a little bit of mildew on the stainless in between. It's I can't imagine opening up a box of forks and silverware and stuff and there's mildew on any of it, and they're like, well, shit.
Yeah,
how about really nice plasticware?
Yeah, we offer like nice plastic stuff.
Yeah.
And what I tell them when I try to sell it to them is that when people take pictures of your table setting, they can't tell if it's real or not.
Right.
We charge $2 a person for plates, silverware, and napkins, and it's all disposable.
Yep.
Have you done table service where you're delivering plates of food to people, or is it always buffet?
Our last wedding, we did a wedding on Mother's Day, and it was table service.
You did a wedding on Mother's Day?
Yeah.
People are
$3,000, dog. I told my mama I love her. I said, I got to go make $3,000.
Here's $100, Mom. Go buy yourself some.
I don't think the complaint was you picking up the gig on Mother's Day. It was that people holding weddings on holidays.
On Mother's Day.
So yeah, we had a birthday party for one of my stepdaughter's friends on Mother's Day, and then there's another birthday party this weekend on Memorial Day weekend.
I actually have our plates here.
Who does that? See? That looks very similar to what we've used for
it's plastic.
our upgraded option. Yeah, they're very nice, heavy-duty silver. Yep.
Sam's Club?
Yeah, sometimes the Webstaurant.com, you can get a better deal. But yeah, Sam's Club comes through in plates.
Do you guys have a restaurant depot down there?
It's in Nashville, and I try really hard never to go to Nashville just because of the traffic and shit. I try to stick to here in Murfreesboro. We have a Sam's Club, we do have a GFS here, so.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, the plates from Sam's Club are good. I stopped buying the silverware pack because I always ended up with extra spoons.
Always.
Yeah, so this year I went to a restaurant and bought cases of 1,000 forks and knives because that's all I need. I mean, I have spoons from years ago here, just bags and bags of spoons. So we have a dozen weddings between now and the end of the year. So I thought we'll just buy the big case of those and just use those throughout the whole year. So
when we stop by to see you at the food truck, I'll buy those spoons from you. Then we go through like 4 a day.
Really?
Banana pudding.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's the only thing we use them for. But they do go at a more rapid rate than we expected. I think people are using them for their beans.
Yeah, I have a pack of spoons on the food truck, but we went during the winter. I had a tortellini soup, so I had to carry spoons.
So you run during the wintertime?
Yes.
And so
it's warm down there.
And it's not too cold.
I'm getting there. I was going to ask, like, what's the average temperature going through what we call the wintertime?
Probably average like 50, 55.
All right, yeah, because you're Murfreesboro is southern Tennessee, or like mid to southern, correct?
We're smack dab in the middle of Tennessee.
Wide.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not very wide. It's long, but we're the geographic center of the state. There's a marker you can go piss on. That marks the center. It's
I can say I pissed on the center of Tennessee.
Yeah.
I'm not falling for that one. You know, there's a camera there. And all of a sudden, it's a Class 5 felony.
Like a mile north of the football stadium there at MTSU is the exact center of the state. So, and there's a little obelisk there.
Bless you.
Yeah.
All right. I noticed on your menu you have a side of sauce.
Yes.
Okay. So how many people get garlic bread and get a side of sauce?
Half of them.
Now, do you give them sauce already, or do you only charge for sauce?
I only charge for sauce. The only thing that comes with sauce is the cheese sticks.
Okay, and they get one of each, or just one, and they
just one of the meat sauce.
Okay. So if somebody comes up and they say they're vegetarian, you don't have just a non-meat sauce other than Alfredo, correct?
Right.
Do you ever have people ask about that? Like, why don't you carry them just a regular tomato pasta sauce?
They not enough to change. So maybe once a month someone comes up. We actually started out with just a marinara sauce because that was going to be real easy and not worry about beef or anything like that. So that's really the only thing raw we carry is the ground beef for the meat sauce. But I got more questions then about why don't we have a meat sauce than I do now of why don't we just have a marinara.
Okay. And then
40% chance the rain just turned into the skies have opened and it is pouring. Good Lord. Jesus.
Better clean out the bed of my truck then.
Guess I'm not mowing my lawn today.
Sorry. Something else I wanted to ask. Damn it.
Sorry, I squirreled.
All right, so you've been in this food truck game for like 9 months. What are you most proud of so far? And what is your biggest regret or problem or could use the most use? Or word I'm looking for. Could still use work. How about that?
Yeah, I think starting out, you have a plan in your head of how everything's going to go, and I'll say it went 90% the way I thought it would. Now I probably over-guessed on our sales. I didn't think it would be that tough starting out. Learning how to book, learning when to say yes, when to say no, stuff like that. I probably underestimated the time, throughout the week that you need to put into the food truck. I was working, now it's not Captain D's where I was working 70, 80-hour weeks and getting phone calls at midnight about light bulbs being out in the dining room. But it's still, I need to get up at 7 and clean this, clean that, go dump the wastewater, go shopping. Shopping. We shop every day. We really don't have, that much space, as you guys know. I mean, we have a shelf in the garage, but and the way I run my inventory, I run it pretty low. Any product you have at the end of the week sitting on the shelf, that's money sitting on the shelf, not in the bank. And so, as far as our operations, we run pretty low on inventory. So we have a full timer now. He started full time like 3 weeks ago, and he's doing the shopping. So that's a big relief on me. And it's not just so I can like kick it home and play Xbox or anything like that. It's to work on the business, to work on bookings, any menu changes I need to make, stuff like that.
Well, shit, you started in August, so you probably started after listening to us. Hopefully we didn't screw anything up for you.
I did. And that's, like I said, I was doing research, and how I found you guys is, I love listening to podcasts. And so I was like, well, let me see if there's, food, just search food trucks and podcast search bars. And you guys came up, and you guys were the only ones I could stand listening to. So,
wow, nobody's ever told me that before.
We might need a disclaimer at the beginning or the end of the show that we cannot be held responsible for any success or failures in the food truck realm.
No, we can be held responsible for success. No failures.
That's right.
No failures. So
I don't think you guys taught me anything. I just enjoyed. I just wanted to know how it affected you guys.
We were just up here, Justin. We were up here, and in a swift sentence. Whoo.
Like I said, 90% of what I thought would happen happened. Is my plan. So,
we account for the other 10%. Thanks.
There you go. Yeah.
No. What's your biggest regret?
Not starting sooner.
So not starting the actual food truck sooner.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I started as fast as I can, but we in 2016 when I started the catering company, I should have jumped in the food truck game then. I just didn't.
How long did you stay at Captain D's, or when did you leave them?
In July.
Oh, okay, all right. So you were doing your catering. You had a 9 to 5 or 9 to whenever job, and then you quit there, started the food truck.
Yeah. So while I was in high school and college, I worked for Captain D's, and then after college, I worked for the Miller Lite distributor in Nashville. And so that job was Monday through Friday. And so one thing that happened at the distributors, we had wine, and I was covering a wine route. And this was during the restaurant boom in Nashville. And so I was delivering wine to all these new restaurants going into Nashville. And I started to realize, I was like, man, I miss these kitchens. I miss being in the kitchen. I like being a cook. I like the restaurant industry, as tough as it is sometimes. And so I was like, I'm going to get back into it, but I want to do my own thing. So that's why I was like, okay, I want to do barbecue. So that's where that started, because that was Monday through Friday. On the weekends, I could cook barbecue for people, sell it. And then we got that wedding in the at the end of the summer, September of 2016 was our first official wedding on the catering business. We went and got a license and everything. And so I was with the beer distributor for 5 years. There was a club there of people, and I wasn't in it, so I wasn't going to advance. Even though I was really good at my job, it didn't matter. There was a club, I wasn't in it. You probably think I'm a good old boy, but these are like real good old boys. So I don't own anything camo, but that's all these guys knew. So I wasn't in that club. So
you weren't in that club, yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up going back to Captain D's. Was a GM there within 4 months, and then just was a GM for 2 or 3 years, and then ended up being an area manager. And then, COVID, that was a whole thing. And then just, being promoted to area director, I was really out of the restaurant game, because then you're at a computer, you're looking at numbers and costs, and, every now and then you'd go in a restaurant and help out, cooking and being on the line, but you're really out of it, being a area director like that. And so, I just had a really, really bad day one day. I was at my son's baseball game last spring, and I looked at my wife. I said, I'm going to give them 1 year. And she's like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I was like, can I open a food truck? And she should have said no, but she said yes. She had no idea what she was getting herself into.
Does she work
said,
with you?
Do what?
Does she work with you?
No.
Does
She's
she want,
about,
Somebody has to run the household.
somebody's got to make real money and run the household.
I was going to say, would she have anything to do with the food truck at all?
No, she's the co-owner of the business. She's the CFO.
Oh, she makes the money go.
Yeah, well, that's where all the money goes.
Well, just like the rest of us.
Yeah, but yeah. So that was the spring, and then in May, I was like, we're gonna do this. So started in May. We opened in August.
Cool. Yeah, it's a good story. It's good to hear other points of view. So it's awesome.
Yeah, congratulations. I mean, for me, it was years of going back and forth on whether or not I wanted to do it, should do it, able to do it. Before I finally made the leap. So I'm still wondering half that shit. So
quitting your damn job, working for your dad, and
wasn't working for my dad. We worked at the same place.
Whatever.
Yeah, the hardest part was just doing it. Was going.
Notice how they didn't try to keep you when you left.
They did, actually. Thank you.
Not as much. Anyway. Happy retirement to Bert.
Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, my boss knew I didn't play around, so when I said I was leaving, he knew there was pretty much nothing he could do.
Yeah, my direct supervisor was an asshole. So
yeah, I called him and I said, I'm leaving. I'm putting my 2 weeks in. He said, okay. He said, for real? And I said, yeah. I said, when do you want this company car back?
Oh, and you gave up a company car.
I know.
It's amazing what people give up to start food trucks. I gave up sanity.
I had a good job with good benefits. The benefits that were too good. So yeah.
But I've got a good enough professional resume that I know if everything went to shit, I could go back.
Yeah.
If I called him today and be like, "Hey man, I want to come back," he'd be like, "Can you come in today?" Like we're short staffed. Yeah. So.
All right. Last thing, and I think we're cutting it close. But we asked we had a discussion with one of our other guests about whether you're a chef or something else. Are you a chef or something else? What do you classify yourself as?
I self-classify as a chef, and it depends on. There are those that go to culinary school, and a chef to me is if you make recipes, you run the restaurant, you know your cost, you build I already said that. You build recipes, you run your restaurant, you make procedures. I mean that's a chef. That fills all the holes of a chef. Okay. I had a guy offer me part ownership of his restaurant, and he was a culinary school guy through and through, and he really kind of built me, pushed me down that I wasn't, from a culinary background, even though I've worked in 2 or 3 restaurants and build recipes. But on the end, he was wanting help. His restaurant's not making any money. And so I'm like, but how good is you being a chef?
Yeah.
So, I asked him what his top 3 biggest sellers were. He couldn't tell me. I'm like, so I'm more of a chef than you are.
Right.
Yeah. So
good answer.
Solid answer. All right. Let's wrap this up. Justin, what's your Facebook page for your
Spaghetti Monster Food Truck?
Excellent.
And then our website is eatatspaghettimonster.com.
Excellent. Are you on the TikTok or any of the other
We're
ones?
on all of them. TikTok, Instagram. Instagram is at Eat at Spaghetti Monster. TikTok, I forgot.
Yeah.
It's probably
Probably something similar, hopefully.
yeah.
Geez, I'm all over the place here. So yeah, follow him there, us on our PB&J's of Michigan and Sweet Rex Barbecue on Facebook for the two of us. And right now, one of our other listeners has challenged me to a race to 1,000 followers on TikTok, Nick Lodato and Twisted Street.
Woo!
It's nice of him to challenge me when he has a 60-person head start. So we're gaining some ground though. So yeah, come over to our TikTok at Sweet Rex Smoking Butts Barbecue.
And Food Truck Monster podcast. It chronicles my journey starting and all the crying and bitching I did in the beginning. And it's more of it turns into more of what you guys do going over the week. But starting out, it was this is what happened this week.
A pity party. Hey,
Did you
pity
have,
parties are always welcome.
I gotta ask because we've asked everybody. Have you had a day where you sat on your floor crying?
No. No.
You don't belong on this show.
No. Captain D's is rough. No, I did it, Captain D's.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Justin. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
He just got rid of everybody. Well, I don't want to leave. It says I'm 99% uploaded. Well, hopefully this doesn't screw shit up. No?
Still says recording.
I know. He just completely left out everything. There you go.